Alright, I am back. This time I'll be playing some Abzan Company in Modern, getting ready for Grand Prix Indianapolis this upcoming weekend. Abzan Company just happens to be the deck that I have built in paper, and I've had the most experience with it out of the decks that I own. I'm gonna take it to a Grand Prix. So, if you don't know, Abzan Company is primarily a combo deck. They combo off with Viscera Seer, and then Anafenza Kintree Spirit or Malira, and then one of the two persist creatures in the deck, which are Murderous Redcap and Kitchen Finks. How the combo works is when you have all three in play, um, you sack whatever persist creature you have to the Viscera Seer, and then the creature will come back via persist, and then Anafenza will either bolster onto it or they just won't get a -1/-1 counter because of Malira, and then you just keep doing it again. There are a few decks in the format. Oh, I'm sorry. Depending on which creature you have, you either can get quote unquote infinite life, or you just kill them with the essentially infinite damage with the Murderous Redcap. However, there are some decks in the format that don't actually concede to infinite life, such as Tron or Jeskai Nahiri, because they can discard the Eldrazi that reshuffle their graveyard. They can just keep discarding it to hand size, and eventually you will deck out. So that's just something you got to keep in mind. Another pretty cool interaction is that to against those decks that don't concede infinite life, if you do happen to assemble the combo with Kitchen Finks, you can just infinitely scry through your library, find whatever card you want, and put it on top. So you can set up the next turn kill with a Chord of Calling or a Murderous Redcap to just like go grab the Redcap or whatever you need, and just deal them infinite damage that way. The mana base is pretty standard. You got some fetches, some shocks, a couple basics. Horizon Canopy is just a good card to draw out of floods. And Gavany Township, which is probably the best land in the deck. It just helps you go to Plan B, which is just play the beatdown plan. We have some Mana Dorks, the combo pieces with Viscera Seer and Anafenza and Malira. I have a Kasali Pride Mage main board just to answer random main board cards like Grafdigger's Cages or Relic of Progenitus or just anything. He's also is a pretty good beater. He's essentially a 2-drop 3/3 when attacking, so Scavenging Ooze is just a really good, really strong card right now, especially with Dredge in the format. I have a Selfless Spirit in the main board. I've been trying it out. I've seen a lot of Anger of the Gods being played in main board now because of the popularity of Dredge, and I just wanted Anger is really really good against us, and I wanted to have a card in the main board as kind of like a foil to main deck sweepers. And then we just have some staples like Spellskite, Wall of Roots, Pontiff, Kitchen Finks. There's like the one Fiend Hunter to answer problematic creatures like Kalatos, Trade or Forget. E-Witness to just go generate card value against the grindier decks. And you just have the Chords and Companies and the one Redcap. The sideboard. So Company acts as primarily a combo deck, and then secondarily a toolbox deck. You just have a bunch of random one-ofs in the main board and the sideboard that you can just grab off of a Chord of Calling or hopefully off of a Company to just help answer any situation that you might find yourself in. So we have the two Abrupt Decays to deal with problematic creatures like Dark Confidant or Grafdigger's Cages or anything. Liliana the Veil. I have the Archangel Thune and Spike Feeder combo in the sideboard because it's a infinite life and infinite damage combo that doesn't require the graveyard. So it's another way to play around the Grafdigger's Cages and Leyline of the Voids. We have a Courser to bring in against the grindier decks to just generate card value. Kataki and Stony Silence against the artifact-based decks like Lantern Control and Affinity. I have a Maelstrom Pulse, which was a third Abrupt Decay, but I just wanted a sideboard answer to Nihiri, because that deck is fairly popular right now, and I've had some issues playing against it. We have the 3 Path to Exile against the creature-based decks. This card is actually like really good against the Suicide Zoo decks. I have a Farika, which also comes in against the grindy matchups. It makes their spot removal spells worse, because you can just eat up any creature you don't need in your graveyard and turn them into 1/1 Death Touch snakes, and then trade those snakes for Goyfs or Siege Rhinos or whatever. I have another Kasali Pride Mage and a Reclamation Sage in the sideboard, just to help answer the problematic cards like Leyline of the Void and Gravedigger's Cage, and those types of cards. So, I've had some experience with this deck, and hopefully I do well at the GP, and I'll see you in the future games.